hey, you gotta think about it. Think about it.
Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. This is a bit of a follow-up to one of the last videos I did around physical media and getting back into physical collecting of DVDs and Blu-rays and facing a bit of streaming stress, just really by subscribing to a lot of stuff but not being able to locate anything I want to watch, and particularly films that are of my era, of my generation. So I'd call myself within that Generation X bucket, so born late 70s. So I do love films in general, but 80s and 90s probably ones that float my boat the most. So I'll do a link to my last video, but essentially I've got rid of a lot of physical media. I kept hold of some. So the last video I raided the loft and brought down what I had, and there's some good stuff in there, but there was a lot of gaps. So the mission now is to locate some of those films, ideally at a good price, to ideally get to a collection that I want and I enjoy, that's not hundreds of DVDs and Blu-rays, but ideally about the 150 mark. I'm kind of excluding TV series, music videos. Not that I've got many, but documentaries and bits like that. So since the last video, I raided a few places. Got a bit of eBay. I think just one, in fact, from eBay. We've got some charity stuff, and then we've got some CX bits at the bottom. And let's just we'll go straight. We're not going to labour on each one too much, but we'll go straight into the pile. Hopefully you can see this okay. We're holding up Dick Tracy in a lovely, I don't know if that was the original one. Obviously it was very pinks and yellows within the film, so maybe this is the case that it came in. It just looks a little bit odd. And but cracking film. Very difficult. Again, I'm in the UK to locate that on the UK streaming services. If it is out there, then I haven't been able to find it. Not recently, as the point of kind of filming this video. But absolutely love this film. Love the soundtrack. Love the cinematography. Awesome. Absolutely awesome one. I saw it perhaps when I was a bit too young, and it kind of landed okay, but it wasn't one that really blew my mind. And it was probably, in more recent years, I've gone back and thought this is class. It's obviously got some gangsters. It's got the prosthetics to make those so particularly the baddies look how they look in the comic book, and Madonna on the soundtrack, and obviously acting in it as well. So it's a really good one. So chuffed to get that in the collection. We're just going to pile them up. These ones were from a charity shop down there, good old Southend High Street, and it cost me £5 in total. And in fact, I only had a few, and it came to about £2.50. I had like a fiver, and it's a charity, really good charity, that's helped us, personally, and I know a lot of friends and family in the area. It's like a hospice charity, but they also support families with children of special needs, which is us essentially. So they've helped us out with a bit of respite and other things. Absolutely amazing charity. They've got a few charity shops around, but I was like, look, I had a fiver, keep the fiver, and they were like insistent. No, there must be something. So I went out the back, and which is always a good place to be, and got a few more discs. But yes, lots of these are classics. I mean, Saturday Night Fever, that's kind of 50p. Gladiator. Again, a cracking film. This one, I would have owned this on DVD. The discs are having a little jump around. Amazing music. So just emotional soundtrack. Very, very well done. I think it's like a Hans Zimmer one, isn't it? I think so. Very, very small print on the back. I'm pretty sure it is. But that's class. Bit of Denzel Washington, and this kind of era. He was all over the action films, but this one is class. I haven't seen it for years, but he was a bit of a burnt out ex-CIA operative who I think he liked the booze a little bit too much on this, but he's looking after a wealthy family, and the daughter gets taken hostage, and it's all about revenge and getting her back. But yeah, just looking at the back, I forgot it had like Christopher Walken in it. So yeah, look forward to watching that one. Is it Baz Luhrmann? We've got a very different type of film here. It's a bit of a musical with Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor in Moulin Rouge, and there's a whole host of big names in this one. Yeah, Jim Broadbent. I butcher the guy's name, but yeah, John Leguizamo, and a host of others. So yeah, cracking film with some good tunage. Up next, yeah, super duper action with two of the biggest names in films that they were at the time. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. It's got Val Kilmer in it as well. Heat, and again, I haven't seen this in a long time, but those guys, they look very. I don't know what year this was. 95, I think. Yeah, 95. But they look a lot younger than they do now. But yeah, John Voight. Michael Mann films, obviously, bank heists and guns and action and all the rest of it. This one I only saw in recent years, but I think I got an Oscar for Best Picture, Best Film. So yeah, No Country for Old Men with Javier Bardem, Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin, and a bit of a gritty thriller involving a lot of money, if memory serves me well. This one, I haven't even seen this, Avatar. Was meant to go and see it, but I was poorly. My mum and my sister went to see it in 3D. I think it was the first 3D film that they'd seen. Certainly my mum had seen. My mum made it like 15 minutes in, and then she wasn't physically ill, but she felt really, really nauseous. And after left, so they haven't seen it either. So maybe a Retrohead family viewing will take place. This one, saw when it came out of the cinema, an absolutely classic, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. Was it the first one done by Guy Ritchie? And yeah, Matthew Vaughn have both gone on to do some awesome things, and Jason Statham as well. I mean, he seems to be the man of action at the moment. But what an amazing, so many good tunes in this one, so many good like one-liners. Again, the cinematography, just how it's kind of it's cut, and the plot reveals, and the very enjoyable film. And I think he done obviously a few after since then. I think Snatch was that the one that came out immediately after, which I loved, and some others probably less of note. I don't know, just repeating the old formula, but not as good. It's a Tim Burton classic. My Namesake, Edward Scissorhands. So yeah, love this one. Johnny Depp of that time was all over absolutely everything. Forged a bit of a partnership with Tim Burton and his future movies. Winona Ryder as well. So yeah, chuffed to get that one back. Stacking them up on the chair to start moving them in a bit. So we're now on to the CX ones. So they were all the charity ones. So yeah, £5. I thought that was quite good. CX, so we've got Jurassic Park, the first 3, I think for £6. Obviously Blu-ray, so it should be slightly better quality. So that's cool. Let's get a jump cut and move these on the floor. Right, I've had to rearrange. So we've got not many more to go through. Still from CEX, £6 for the Ultimate Rambo collection. And let's have a little. Can't for the life of me remember it being a nice set, but I can't remember which ones it had in it. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? Right, so we've got First Blood. A Cantina affair. God, it's the so it's 1, 2 and 3 basically. First Blood Part 1, Part 2, and then Rambo 3. What a nice little collection of booklet in the middle. Very strange folding affair, but the origami seems to work okay, so be good with that. Certain Geordie tubers fave, Halloween. So yeah, Geordie Slasher Gaming. Mark absolutely loves this one, as do I. So yeah, got that back in the collection. 25th anniversary edition of the first one. High definition widescreen transfer. So we'll see what that's like. It's obviously not a Blu-ray, but sometimes with the horror ones, I think when they make them too much of a high definition and they tinker with them, it loses some of that appeal. And I think some of the horrors I haven't got one working, one up in the loft, but a VHS player where it's a bit kind of murky and grainy. Sometimes I think I can add to some of the suspense of the of those, of the horror films, particularly like Michael Myers in that film. That the original one, you see glimpses of him behind the hedge, and you're looking in the window behind the characters. And I think on VHS, some of them were quite subtle, and it was almost like, did I see him? Didn't I see him? So yeah, 4K high definition can go against us a little bit for certain types of film. I think I made the point when I was going through the last ones. Where the hell was the Tarantino? I didn't have any Quentin, so I don't know if this is the only one in this pile. I was off to get Reservoir Dogs. I don't know if I picked that. I can't remember if I picked that up. Anyway, we've got Pulp Fiction, which I do love. This one I probably prefer Reservoir Dogs a little bit more. I don't know if it's because I saw that one. I'm sure that one came out beforehand, but we did we did like a bit of fancy dress, I think, one New Year's Eve, and we all dressed up as the Reservoir Dogs. There was even a nice guy Eddie, and it wasn't me. I think I was Mr. Crumbs. Forget which one's which on Reservoir Dogs. Was it Mr. Pink with Steve Buscemi? That was, yeah. See, all looked fairly similar. But yeah, Pulp Fiction, Samuel, John Travolta, another banging soundtrack, as is customary from Tarantino. But yeah, some pretty uncomfortable, gimpish scenes in this one. But yeah, cracking movie. Another cracking movie. Well, these are all cracking movies. But yeah, Predator. I'm sure I had this very same special edition, but must have... maybe the Magpie's got it. Maybe I gave it to Music Magpie or wherever. But at £1.50, I thought, that's coming home, as they say on YouTube and these pickup vids. But yeah, classics. Probably not much to be said about Predator. I do love this one. I think maybe it was my age went against me, but I'm pretty sure I saw this one after I'd seen the sequel, which is the more urban one's got Danny Glover in it in the sequel, but this is where it's at. The first one in the jungle, Arnie and a whole host of awesome action heroes that were kind of scattered across loads of the other action films that time. There it is, Reservoir Dogs. God, I was only 2 away from the... How did I miss that? So yeah, a bit of a special features one, deleted scenes, dedications, tributes, interviews of Tarantino, trailers and bits like that. So I think that's another thing. I know if you buy films, certainly through the likes of Apple iTunes, quite often you can get those extras and deleted bits, but I don't think that's the case if you get watching a Netflix. Shoot me down if I'm talking BS, but in your likes of Netflix or Amazon Prime, you're grabbing a film, I don't think you can always get the extras. I don't think I've seen the extras or bits like that. So that's another good reason to go physical. This one, yeah, an absolute belter of a film, and they did some sequels to it. I'm trying to think, is this the first one? Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe there's 28 hours later, then 28 days later. But I think it's the hours one. Maybe I'm struggling to find that, particularly on any streaming services. So this has got, I'll pronounce it wrong, but Cillian Murphy in it. I think the first one, God, I can't remember the name of the Clive Owen. Was that in the first one? But yeah, I think this might be the sequel, and maybe there's 28 weeks later. So I need to get bloody 28 hours later. I don't know why I got this one in the collection, because I love it as a film, but it just reduces me to manly emotional wrecks when I watch it. It's Awakening. It's based on a true story where people are literally, there's a virus, a sleeping sickness epidemic going around, and then Robin Williams is a bit of a scientist stroke doctor, I guess, kind of trials some drugs and manages to have a bit of a breakthrough moment with these people, and they start to talk, and that's emotional in itself. But yeah, it's kind of highs and lows. We'll leave it at that. But it is a class film. A really, really good film. Just an emotional one. Bring the tissues. Yeah, Gremlins. So again, why would I ever have got rid of the my Gremlins DVD? But I did, and yeah, got it back. Do you remember almost a bit like video game collecting, like the Sega Saturn kind of boxes. I'm surprised this one's lasted as long as it has. But you've got like the scene, even like the scene index. I don't know if that's going to focus at all on there, as well as the disc. But that's pretty cool. Two more. This is a more recent one, but just one I absolutely love, based on obviously the comic book from France, and there's been other kind of cartoons based on them, but not one as done as well as this one from Spielberg. So like Tintin, Secret of the Unicorn. But yeah, it's just a real nice family film. It's really nicely aligned to the comic books, or the comic hour, whatever you want to call them, like the illustrated, like the albums, which I loved. A bit French in my family, so I spent a lot of time in France growing up, and read a bit of a way to learn French. Really was between that and a bit of Asterix, and every time we went there, we'd get a couple of books. And since then, coming back, I've pretty much got the full set in good old English, because my French skills are pretty not as good as they should be. It's got the 3D version as well on this. Not that I've got a 3D telly or 3D glasses. I never owned one. I would have quite liked one at the time, but or a 3D player with the PlayStation 3. You can do 3D through the PS3. Interesting. So I must have missed that technology. But yeah, really good film if you got a chance to watch it. And then the last one. Again, when was this? Is probably a bit later. I think 2004, 2005. It's got a couple of those. We'll go with 2004. But Sideways with Paul. I pronounce it wrong. Is it Giamatti? And Thomas Hayden Church, and they traveling around the vineyards in the US. And but yeah, the story itself. Yeah, Jack, who's the Thomas Hayden Church character, he's getting married, so it's a bit of a stag do of sorts, of just the two of them, and their kind of final foray before he gets married. And there's lots of stuff that gets uncovered on that trip. Lots of hilarious scenes and banter and blokey stuff. I'll probably put it, without being too driving it down a gender route, probably it's a bit more of a blokey type film. With 230-somethings, mature along the way. I'm not sure about that. And if you're into a bit of wine, then yeah, there's probably some wine tips to be learnt also. So that is it. So yeah, we're getting there. A few more that I need to get, and periodically I'll do the odd video just to show what I've got, and how the collection's faring. If you're from Generation X, or alternatively, if you're into your films, if there's any particular, mainly for the 80s and the 90s ones that I need to be getting back in the collection, then drop me a note in the comments, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Cheers.